All right. You see my screen now? Yes?
Yes po.
All right. Sige. Today, our discussion is all about capital budgeting, no? So, I will discuss about the evaluation process, no? And also the use of capital budgeting, no? I will also discuss about the cash payback period. By the way, no? When you have your capital budgeting, uh, we will discuss about the methods, no, in terms of capital budgeting. Number one is cash payback period. Okay, take note, ah. Number one is cash payback period. Number two is about net present value method or the net present value method. We will discuss about no intangible benefits in terms of capital budgeting. Okay. Basta the method here is cash payback, net present value, profitability index, no, IRR, and the last is all about no ARR or annual rate of return or also known as the accounting rate of return. All right. All right. So also capital budgeting, evaluation process, the cash payback again, the net present value, and also your other considerations also. Okay, and other capital budgeting techniques. All right. So nga, Jovi, what is the reason why you have a capital budgeting? Okay, can you please turn on the fan?
Ano
All
po, sir?
right. Sige nga, Jovi.
Sir, para po ma-assess yung value and magkaroon ng magandang return, I mean sa investment return
All
po.
right.
Kaya,
All right. Very good. To assess if you have a return on investment, especially in terms of long-term investment. Very good. How about to Joshua? Ba't kailangan ng capital budgeting?
Sir, siguro po for for future
Mhm.
investments na po. Tapos
It is for future investment,
for
yes.
potential major projects po, mga
For
ganun.
potential major project, yes, di ba? Capital budgeting, it involves daw long-term planning. Now, you have a more than 1 year, no? Is you have your capital budgeting. And the key and the main objective here is to maximize your company's return, no? To maximize the company's returns at the same time, you have your financial investment. Very important here is the maximizations, no, of your companies. All right, very good. That's why, no, discuss in terms of capital budgeting, no, many companies talaga basically follow, especially in terms of the capital budgeting. Ano yung mga steps? Okay? Project proposals are requested from plant, from department, and from authorized personnel. Okay. For example, I remember no, when I was still in San Miguel, alam nyo ba, no, bago mag-pandemic, we requested for a plant for a machine, 'di ba? Kasi madaming umiinom ng ano eh kasi because of Joshua, no? Duran, no? Mahilig kasi uminom ng Red Horse. Tama ba, Joshua? Hindi, di ka
Sir,
umiinom.
dito.
Hindi ka umiinom. Alright. So,
Dito.
as totoo lang, before pandemic, ang laki. Ang laki ng benta namin ng San Miguel. So, ano ginawa namin? We requested for a equipment or machinery para bumili. Yan. Yan. So, meaning, yung isang department will request no for the project, no, meaning to purchase more equipment. All right. After that, the proposals will be screened by capital budget committee. Now, the question is, sino-sino yung mga capital budget committee? All right, sila yung mga top management or the controller or any other part of the business. All right. Pag yan ay na-screen na, no, officers determine which projects are worthy of funding. 'Di ba? Common sense lang, no? Hindi ka makakaroon ng, ng capital budgeting if there is no funding. Tama ba? If there's no funding. Okay, 'di ba Carla May, no? Common sense. If there's no funding, tingin niyo ba makakaroon ng capital budgeting? Carla,
Hindi po.
'di ba? No. So very important is you have a proper funding. And number four, pag may funding na, meron ng project proposals, screened niya ng budget committee, that's the point, no? The board of directors will approve the capital budget. All right. Bakit board of directors, Johans? Bakit the ultimate parang the one who authorized is the board of directors?
Kasi
Tingin niyo bakit?
sila po yung may pinakamataas na hawak
Sila
po.
yung
May pinakamataas na hawak po sa company.
pinakamataas na, hindi ko marinig.
Hawak sa company po.
Alright, pinakamataas na may hawak sa company. Yes, no? The BOD is the incorporators or the corporators in terms of the management. That's why the BOD will approve. Ano pa? Yes, sila yung pinakamataas. Ano pa? Bakit BOD ang mag-approve? Jovi,
Sir,
ano sa
sila
tingin?
po yung may hawak ng shares talaga.
Yes, sila yung mahawak ng shares. Ano pa? Meron pa kayong isang nakalimutan because of Duran. Bakit BOD ang mag-approve? Tama yan.
Sir,
Sila yung sila yung pinaka-head or part of the company. And
decision making, sir.
decision making and
Yun, sir, yung ano ko lang.
involvement or
Ah,
involvement of the large investment. Napakalaki if you will have capital budgeting. 1 billion or 2 billion or 3 billion pa yung cost niya. Kaya kailangan yan ay approve ng board of directors. Wait lang ha. Alright. And the BOD will approve the capital budget at the same time. The BOD is wait lang ha. Alright, sige. Next. Alright. So in terms, hindi alright. Also, in terms of capital budgeting, now very important is we will use a cash flow or cash flow numbers. Now, we will set aside the net income or the accrual basis of accounting. What we will do here is a cash flow. All right, meaning revenues and expenses now will or often differ in terms of cash and inflow and cash flow. And all the accrual is a more advantageous on the part of cash basis, but in this in this capital budgeting, no, is we will follow cash flow statement or your cash inflow and cash outflow. But my question is, why is it that we will follow cash basis of accounting in capital budgeting? Carla, what do you think is the reason? Carla, wala. Jovi,
Sir, kasi since ito po ay more on finance po, kaya cash po.
alright. More on finance or cash? Okay, pwede rin. Alright. Pero ano yung pinaka-ultimate? Bakit cash? Duran. Sorry, kayo ng apat eh. Kaya umiikot lang. Sino ba absent? Si Fatma lang, no? Alright. Duran.
sir, ano po yung tanong niyo po ulit?
Saka
Sorry.
si Neo. Again, bakit in the capital budgeting, we will just follow cash basis of accounting, not accrual basis of accounting?
Sir, kasi more on sa capital budgeting po siya.
Yes? Bakit nga? Bakit nga cash flow? Pwede naman accrual eh.
Hmm, sir, di ko po alam pa paano sasagutin.
Alright. Johans.
Sir, siguro po dahil po sa liquidity nung
Because of liquidity. Alright, yes. Di ba? Sabi ko kanina, the capital budgeting is basically it involves large amount of investment. So meaning, ang ultimate goal dyan is maibalik yung peras muna sa kanila. And eventually, the net income will follow. Di ba? Meaning the ROI. That's why uh, the first thing that you will record is basically the payback period, 'di ba? Kasi payback is basically sa Tagalog, ilang taon mo makaka-recover o ilang taon mo mare-recover ang inyong net income, ang inyong investment. Yan. Alright. For the purposes of capital budgeting, estimated cash inflows and outflows are preferred, no, as inputs into the capital budgeting decision tools. Yan. Alright. Capital budgeting considerations. Now, what are the considerations when you have your capital budgeting? Number one, availability of funds. Yan. Again, ulit-ulit ako. Kailangan you have available of funds. Number two, relationships among proposed project. O, kailangan namin ng equipment for this. Yan ay para maging mabenta ang aming project. Company's basic decision making approach. Yes, no? Decision making is also very important. The reason why you purchase this or that, no? And the risk involved. Oh, ito kwento ko sa inyo, 'di ba? Bumili kami ng equipment for the line 2, no? Para madami kami ma-produce na beer. Yan yung before the pandemic. Yes, bago ako umalis, nandun na, no? We are operating, hindi, nandun na yung mga machine, pero hindi pa nagsisimula ng mag-brew, no? Ano nangyari? Nag-pandemic, di ba? So, for sure, hindi namin nagamit, no? Hindi kami nakapag-produce ng madaming beer. So, ano nangyari? For last year, of course, you have a risk involved because hindi naman, wala naman nag, ano, di ba? Wala naman nag-isip na or wala naman nakapag-plan na during the pandemic na makakaroon ng lockdown for how many months. Yan. Meaning, when you purchase one particular project, no, is you consider any risk involved. Yan. So, you will consider any risk involved in terms of a particular project. All right. For example, illustrative data. All right. Ito na yun. What if you will now acquire or you will now purchase a new equipment, no? So, Steward Company is considering an investment of 130,000. Lang ha. Baka makalimutan ko lang. All right. What if Steward Company will consider to purchase equipment worth 130,000? The new equipment is expected to last for 10 years. Okay? And you have zero salvage value at the end of the useful life. The annual cash flows are 200,000 and the annual net cash flows are 176,000. The data are summarized below. All right. Let's say ikaw to Jovi, no? Ikaw yung accountant. And you will consider if in terms of the investment of 130 and the useful life of 10 years and you have the cash flows of 24, do you think that you will consider or you will purchase an equipment? Diba? Take note that it is dollar, no, malaki to. Alright, so paano gagawin natin? Alright, first thing is to have your cash payback period. Alright, describe the cash payback period. Alright, cash payback period is number one. Sorry. Cash payback period technique is basically identifies the time period to recover your cost of the capital investment from the annual cash inflows produced by the investment. Okay. Sa Tagalog, ano to? Jovi. Cash payback period. Hello, Jovi.
Yes, sir. Wait.
Ano yung cash payback period, no? To recover your capital investment from the annual cash inflow produced by the investment. Sa Tagalog, ito ay
Yung kita or yung balik, sir.
yan, return on your investment.
Okay.
Yan. Alright, that's why the formula here is basically cost of capital investment divided by your net annual cash inflow. You have your cash payback period. So basically, if you have your investment, you divide it by the cash inflow, you have your cash payback period. Meaning, O, common sense daw. Ang sabi, the shorter the payback period, the more attractive is the investment. Also, the payback period is usually related to the estimated useful life of the asset. Alright. Paano to, sir? Duran. Bakit the shorter the payback period is the more attractive in the investment?
Sir, sa tingin ko po kasi mas mabilis pong makukuha yung may babalik po yung pera sa inyo kaysa sa mga
Alright.
long-term investment
Alright.
po, mga ganun.
Yes. Very common sense lang. Siyempre, mas maiksi na mag-return yung investment mo, mas maganda. Alright. Also, the payback period is usually related to the estimated useful life of the assets. Meaning, ano mas maganda? Ang payback period is mas maaga compare sa useful life or the other way around? Mas maganda, mas mahaba ang payback sa useful life. Johans. Hello?
Sir, mas maganda po yung una po, yung mas maganda po yung
Okay, mas
payback.
maganda, mas maiksi or mas maganda na mas maliit. Sorry, ang payback
Yung
period
payback po.
mo compare sa short period. Kasi magagamit mo pa yung equipment mo the moment na you recover now your investment. Very good. Alright. Sige nga, example. Yan. Di ba ito yung kanina, no? Investment mo ay 130,000 and this is your cash inflows, meaning cash inflow minus cash outflows. You have 5.42 years. Alright. Let's say, di ba, ilan yung useful life? The useful life is 10 years. Alright. Na-compute ka na. The cash payback period is 5.42. My question is, acceptable ba? When you use cash payback period, you will accept the equipment? Yes or no? Carla. Okay, Jovi. Sige, Jovi.
Sorry po. Yes.
Sige, go.
Yes po, i-accept ko po kasi 10.
Alright. Alright. Very good. Because you have a 5.42 years of the cash payback period and the useful life is 10 years. Meaning, you have you have 4 years pa, no? You have 4 years pa to use the equipment. So for sure after 6 years net income ka na. Okay? Meaning nakabalik na yung nakabalik na yung investment mo after 6 years or almost 6 years kasi 5.42. So meaning it is an advantage or it is to be acceptable. Okay? All right. Kaya lang ano sabi? Cash payback advantages and disadvantages. All right. Cash payback period, yes. Sabi may be useful as initial screening, no? It may also be most critical factor, yes. Easy to compute and understand, yes. Pero, ang sabi, ano yung disadvantages, no? Pinaka-last, it ignores the time value of money. Yan lang yung hindrance or challenges when you will use for cash payback period. Bakit? Ano ba yung time value of money? Carla? Pag sinabing time value of money, ano yan? Hello? Parang wala lagi si Carla. Alright, Doran.
Sir, yung laki po ng pera na may babalik sa inyo.
Mm-hmm. Wait lang ha. Ano nangyari dito? Alright, ano nga yan? Again? Ano nga yun, Doran?
Sir, yung
Time value of money?
time value of money po, yun po yung laki ng pera na may babalik po sa inyo.
Laki ng pera na may ibabalik sa'yo? Yun ba yan?
O, parang,
Alright.
sir, kunyari po dun sa, kasi mas maliit po yung, parang ini-ignore niyo po yung laki ng profit na makukuha niyo po sa isang gamit po instead na
Alright.
marami po kayo makukuha.
Alright. Yun ba yan? Time value of money is basically Your money today is different from your money 10 or 15 years from now. Yeah? That's the time value of money. Diba? As you notice, naalala ko, no? Pupunta ka lang sa McDonald's, yung value meal dati is worth 39 pesos. Naalala ko pa yan. Naging 39, naging 59, naging 79, naging 99. Diba? Ngayon is 99 na. Why? Because of the time value of money. No? Your money today, okay, here. Uh, your money today is basically, your money today is basically iba siya sa pera mo ngayon, 'di ba? Tama ba? Tama ba, Jovi? Yung isang daan mo ngayon, yung isang daan mo ngayon is basically iba rin siya yung pera mo, 'di ba? Okay. Yan. Dito ka. Bigay, dito ka. Shh. You want to teach? Anyway. Yan. 'Di ba tama ba? Tama ba, Jovi? No?
Opo.
'Di ba yung pera mo dati ay iba yung pera mo na ngayon, no? Dati sa 500 pesos mo madami kang mabibili. But daw hindi na, 'di ba? Tama ba?
Yes po.
Okay. 'Di ba, Johans? Ganun din. Alright. That's basically the time value of money. Alright. Meaning, what do you mean of net present value? So, number one, to consider the time value of money is the net present value method. Alright. What do you mean of the net present value method? No, capital budgeting techniques. No, wherein you account for the time value of money, and at the same time, estimated cash flows from investment, and it is also known as discounted cash flow techniques. So when you have your capital budgeting in terms of net present value, no, it is also known as discounted cash flows. Sir, bakit discounted? 'Di ba? Discounted is basically you consider the time value of money, no? Ang sabi daw, it is generally the most recognized and the most informative and the best conceptual approaches in terms of capital budgeting. Alright, wait lang. Sa lobat na ang aking cellphone. Alright, yun. Sir, sa San Miguel ba, ano ginagamit nyo? Alright, we are using this discounted cash flows. We are using this discounted cash flows. We are using this net present value method. When we acquire the equipment, we are using this net present value method. Alright, sir, paano yan? So, when you have, meaning the cash flows of this should be multiplied by the present value. No? The primary objective for this capital budgeting is to compute for the present value of your property. You minus that, you minus the net investment now. All right. Paano yun? All right. Under net present value method, cash inflows and cash outflows are discounted to the present value method, meaning it will be multiplied by the present value factor, which is the present value of 1 or the present value of annuity of 1. So, Joby, naalala mo ba yan? Present value of annuity of 1 and the present value of 1. Do you know how to compute for
Mm,
this?
yes po, sir.
Alright, sige. Ito na. Alright, so ngayon we will discuss ulit na, especially in terms of the present value of annuity and the present value of 1. Alright. The difference between these two is referred to as the net present value method. So the difference between the two is also known as the net present value. All right. How do you compute for this? No? The interest rate to be used in discounting the future cash flows is also known as the required minimum rate of return. All right. Again, the interest rate to be used in discounting the future cash flows is the required minimum rate of return. Later, after this, we will discuss about the cost of capital. Or maybe on Tuesday, we will not meet, no? But I will give you quiz about capital budgeting. Kailan ba ang ating exam pala? Next week, di ba,
Ano
Jovi?
po, sir? 22 to 27 po. Last week ng
22 to
March.
27. So we have one meeting pa. Okay. So our coverage, sige, we will end na lang up to this capital budgeting now before your, so our exam, our discussion or our coverage is introduction to financial management, risk and return and this capital budgeting. Yan. Paano kaya? So, kasi discuss pa yung cost of capital eh. Alright, sige. Pwedeng we will meet pa on Tuesday to discuss cost of capital. Siguro to follow na lang yung quiz. No? And then, yun. Para at least we have 4 topics. Sige. Alright. Kasi required minimum rate of return is also known as cost of capital. Alright. In terms of the net present value, no, ang sabi, the proposal is acceptable when the net present value is zero or positive. Alright, again, in terms of the net present value method, you will accept the proposal if the net present value daw is zero or positive. Yan ha, take note of that. Alright, if the higher the net present value, of course, is the more attractive is the investment. Mas maganda, mas mataas ang net present value. Alright, sige nga. Okay, to summarize everything, no? Present value of your cash inflows or outflows, less investment, you have your net present value. If zero or positive siya, accept the proposal. If negative naman, so you will reject the proposal. Yan. Alright, yun. For example, di ba kanina, we have a $24,000, no? So, Steward Company, annual cash inflows are 24,000. If we assume this amount is uniform over the asset useful life, the present value of the annual cash flows can be computed as follows. Okay? All right, sir, paano na-compute yung 5.650 to? Meaning, you have your present value at 12 of annuity. Duran, Jovi, Johans, and Carla, do you know how to compute for 5.65022?
Sir, nakalimutan ko na yan.
Okay, calculator nyo. 1.12.
Wait lang po, sir.
All right. 1.12 divided by 2 times, then equal sign, 10 periods. So, yung equal sign 10 times. Diba? Alright. Okay na? Yan. And after that is, you divide it by 0.12. Yan. Malamang negative yan, diba? Sorry. Tama ba? Di. Sige nga, para sabay-sabay tayo. So, you have 1.12 divided by 2 times, Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nakuha nyo ba yung 0.3219? Yes
Yes
or
po,
no?
sir. Yes
Alright.
po.
So, gawin nyo, minus 1. Minus 1. Diba? 0.67 divided by 0.12. Tama ba? 5.65022.
Yes po, sir.
Alright.
Parehas.
Yes po,
So,
sir. Nakuha ko po.
disregard the negative, Kasi you minus it by 1. So, meaning, ano yung 5.65022? That would be the present value of annuity of 1 if you have uniform equal or uniform or equal payments. You can use naman present value of 1. Pero ito kasi para mas madali, no? Meaning the value of your inflows, 'di ba? As you notice, no, you have 24,000, no? You have 24,000 cash inflows. Anong gagawin mo? Yung iba pag hindi alam yung present value of annuity, anong gagawin mo? 24,000 times 10. Tama ba 'yan? 240. Jovi, tama ba 'yan na 24,000 times 10? 'Di ba mali 'yon, 'di ba? Meaning, ang kukumputin natin is magkano yung present value ng 240,000 now. Kasi 'di ba, you will use the equipment for 10 years and you have 24,000 every year. You get the point ba? Na-gets ba ako? Jovi, Doran, and Johans and Carla? Yes or no?
Hindi pa
Yes
po
po.
fully, sir.
Yung ano sir, na nalilito lang ng konti.
Again, ang gagawin mo kasi is you will purchase an equipment worth 130,000. Gets ba? Alright. Ang sabi dito, pag nag-purchase ka daw ng equipment worth 130,000, you will have a 24,000 yearly. Tama?
Yes po.
Alright. Meaning, sa 24,000 mo, magagamit mo yung equipment for 10 years. Tama? Alright. So, ginawa ko lang is 24,000 times 10 years. So, meaning, you have, parang you have expected 240,000 as part of your cash inflows. Correct?
Yes po.
Nakakasunod ba? Alright. If you have 240 minus 130, for sure, kung hindi mo alam yung time value of money, no, ang gagawin mo ay you will accept it kasi you have 110,000. Nagets ba ako?
Okay po.
Hindi pa rin. Be honest, hindi pa rin.
So yung last part po, hindi ko po narinig masyado.
Ano yan? Sige nga. Alright.
Yung part po dun sa may, 10,
Sige, I will
24,000.
open the Excel. Mukhang ano kayo hindi kayo mukhang ano kayo. Kayo ba ay gusto niyo nakikita niyo? Ha?
Yes
Or
po,
hindi kayo,
sir. Mas
hindi kayo
maganda.
auditory? Ha?
Yung nakikita na lang po, sir.
Alright. Sabihan niyo ako pag mag-aalas 4 na ha, Jovi ha. Kasi alam ko may klase kayo. Sige, we will end na lang to this we will end to this that capital budgeting. Alright. Again, 'di ba? Ang sabi kasi dito, you have daw 24,000 cash inflows, 'di ba? Ito yung inflows mo. Magagamit mo yung equipment for 10 years, tama? Alright. If magamit mo yung 10 years mo, so meaning, ang expected mo is at 240,000, correct? Yes or no?
Yes po.
Alright.
Yes.
Kaya lang, ang cost na bibilhin mo ay, sorry. Ang cost na bibilhin mo ay 130. So, this is the cash inflows. This is gonna be your cash flow. Meaning, ito yung marireceive mo if you purchase. For 10 years, yan. Kaya lang, of course, the net investment now, no? Kaya lang, gagastos ka din ng 130 ba? Wait lang ha. 100, yes, 130, no? Gagastos ka ng 130. Alright. Kung ito ang gagawin mo, accept, yes or no? Jovi?
Accept na po, sir.
Accept ka agad, di ba? Kasi mas malaki yung outflow mo sa net investment mo. Wait lang ha. Alright. But my question is, ito ba ay tama? Jovi?
Not quite po since hindi pa kasama
Uh,
time value.
kasi you should know the time value of 240. Kasi 240 ay iba na siya 10 years from now. Tama ba? Yan. That's my point, no? That's basically that's basically in terms of your cash flow. All right, that's why you have your net present value or net or the present value of annuity for 10 periods. All right. So meaning, that's why ang gagawin natin is 24,000 times 5,65022 kasi this is the uniform, ha? So meaning the present value pala ng 240 is that 240. The present value is 135,605. Saan to galing? 24,000 times 5.65022, you have 135. So ito pala ay mali. It should be 135. Ilan yan? 605. That's gonna be the present value of your cash flow. All right. Nangyari sa akin. All right. Meaning, you have here 130,000. Nangyari ng akin. Yan. So, you have 130,000. So, meaning, ito yung tama, no? 135 less 130. The net present value is 5605. As you notice, you have 5605. My question is, Doran, accept, yes or no?
Sir, accept po.
Accept because you have a present value of 5605. All right, so meaning the proposed expenditures is acceptable at 12% required because you have a net present value of positive. Ito ba yung nagigets ako? Jovi, Joans, and ano?
Yes po, sir.
All
Yes.
right. So meaning, hindi pwedeng 240 kasi yung 240 kasi expected pa lang yan eh. Gusto mo siya malaman kung magkano yung present value of the 240 now. Alright. The reason why we multiply it by the present value factor of the annuity of 1 kasi you have an even or you have an equal payments. Alright. What if you have an equal payments? Or let's say 34, 30, 27, 25, 24, iba-iba. Sige nga, ang gagawin natin, add mo nga lahat ito. Sa ito galing 89. Ito ay tinatawag din na present value of 1. Kanina, ang kanina naman ay tinatawag na present value of annuity of 1. Alright. Saan ito galing? Sige nga, calculate nyo ulit. 1.12 divided by equal sign. Yung first year, di ba ito yan? Nakuha ba? Jovi Duran?
Yun po,
Yes
sir.
po, sir. Nakuha po.
Alright. Sunod na equal sign, ito. Sunod, ito ulit. Ito ulit, ito ulit. Ano tawag ito? Present value of 1. Sige nga, add nyo nga lahat ito. 89 to 86, 79, add mo lahat yan. Ano ang sagot? Okay, add nyo. So, we can add na lang dito muna sa capital budgeting, sa NPV. Kasi you have, mamaya kasi I have meeting eh. Kaya hindi ako available. Add nyo nga lahat yan. Ilan yung sagot?
Sir,
5.920.
5.65?
0.02 or kay Peter's po ata yung tama.
Di ba ito rin yan?
Ayan po. 5.5.
Kasi.
Ito rin yun, no? Ang
Ah,
nangyari kasi, yung 24,000 kasi is even, meaning pare-parehas. Meaning, pwede naman gamitin ito. 24,000, 24,000, 24,000, 24,000. Wag na. Just add all of this. Nandito galing yung 5.65022. Gets ba?
mm,
'Di ba? Ganon. That's the present value. That's the beauty of the present value. Gets ba? Nagets ba ako? Hindi.
mm. Gets po, sir.
Doran, Johans. Alright, again. Bakit sir 5,650? Ito nga, 1.12 divided by equal sign 12 times, 10 times, then minus 1 divided by 0.12. Di ba ito? Alright. Pwede naman gamitin ito. No? Pwede naman gamitin ito. No? Pero, lahat ito ay 24,000. No? Pwede naman. Kaya lang time consuming. If you add all of this, ito rin naman yun. 5.65022. Just multiply it by 24,000. Alright. Yan yung essence. Alam nyo ba, hindi naman sa pagmamayabang, no? Sabi sa akin, dyan pala galing yun. Di ba, you have your fire? Tama ba?
Opo.
Di ba, doon minamemorize nyo? Di ba, tama ba? Minamemorize nyo ba doon? Or inintindi nyo?
Given lang po sa amin.
Given. Ito na yung reason kung bakit, okay. Ito yung reason kung bakit yung 1 peso mo pala Yung 1 peso mo daw at 12%, ang cost na lang ay 0.89 to 86. Ito yung time value of money. Yung piso mo, after 2 years, ang worth na lang ay 79,719. If 12%, meaning ito yung interest factor mo. Yung piso mo, after 10 years, 0.32197 na lang. That's the time value of money. Your money today is different from your money 10 years from now. You get the point?
Hmm.
Ngayon ba mas madali na, Jovi?
Mas
That's the
na-enlighten
essence.
po kami sa
Ano yan?
mas na-enlighten po kami sa computation ng PV.
Yeah, yan. So ngayon alam nyo na. So meaning, what if unequal to? O, kung unequal to, just multiply it by this. 89 to 86, 30. Ito ay lagi kong sinasama talaga, no? Kasi para mas madaling maintindihan. Yan, just multiply it. So malamang you have now 144,367. Alright. So meaning, di ba 130 to kanina? Okay? And you have 144,367. So meaning, again, you have 14,367. And the proposed expenditures is acceptable because the NPV is positive. Alright. Next. How to choose naman discount rate? Paano mag-choose in terms of 12%? Kaya nga, next meeting, what I will discuss is all about IRR and the accounting rate of return and profitability index and the cost of capital. No? Yan. You can use hurdle rate, cut-off rate, required rate of return, or cost of capital. All right. Cost of capital is basically the weighted average cost of capital that the rate paid now on borrowed funds and the funds from the investors in the company stocks. So very important is you have a investors, no, you have a borrowed funds at the same time investors. Right? So discount rate is basically a cost of capital and risk element. All right. All right, as you notice here, no, what if daw you will choose a higher discount and then you have a lower discount? As you notice, if tumaas yung discount rate mo, the net present value is negative. Okay? Pag hindi naman, you have a positive 56505. All right, what do you mean of this? Meaning, common sense lang, 'di ba? Ito ay cost of capital. Pag tumaas yung interest mo, 'di ba? For sure, hindi mo babayaran, no? 'Di ba pag nag-loan ka, mas maganda, mas mababa ang percentage mo. That's why pag tumaas yung percentage pala, magiging negative na ang net present value. Meaning, hindi mo na ma-accept ang project. All right. Simplify the assumptions, no? And all the examples of the net present value. Now, all cash flows come at the end of each year. Yes. All cash flows are immediately reinvested in another project that has similar return. Yes. All cash flows can be predicted for certainty. Yes. But in real world, no. Net present value is basically based on the estimated amount. But it is to be used, no, in terms of your capital budgeting as the most recognized and the most widely used in terms of capital budgeting. Naras na ba? Oh, 3:55 na. Alright, sige. Next meeting, uh, we will continue this next meeting, no? By the way, ano nangyari pala, Jovi, kay Patma?
Sir,
Ano yan?
ay umuwi po siya sir sa province sa Mindanao.
Okay. Nga pala, may patay pala sa kanila. Okay, sige. Alright, sige. Siya na yung upset, diba? Saka si Neo, no? Wala si Neo. Alright, next meeting, we will continue this, no? And also, we will discuss about also the cost of capital. Alright. Any questions so far? Kasi
Wala naman po
alam
sir
ko
masyado.
may klase pa kayo after. Alright. Maganda pag konti lang tayo, no? Mas mabilis. Tama ba,
Opo.
Doran? Usually, ito,
Opo.
matagal ako. Alright. So, thank you, Thank you for this, no? And I will upload na lang this PPT, no? In our LMS.
Sige po sir.
Alright, sige. See you all.
Thank you
I know
po,
Salamat
sir.
po sir.
may klase pa kayo ng 4. Alright, bye-bye.
Bye-bye
Salamat
po,
Sige
sir.
sir.
po.
Thank you
Very
po.
Sige
Bye,
po sir.
bye-bye. Sige.